Good morning, world of readers! I am Book Dragon Erin, and I would like to welcome you all back to my booktube channel, where today I will be reviewing Vampire Seduction by Celia, Kyle, and Marina Maddix. Vampire Seduction is a fictional paranormal romance with a vampire love story theme going on. Vampire Seduction is also book 1 in the Real Men of Othercross series, and in that series we have Vampire Seduction, Vampire Claim, Vampire Temptation, Vampire Reunion, Vampire Enchanted, and Fae Lady Rebellion. As far as the plot goes, he's accused of a crime he didn't commit, and she is determined to get him off, in more ways than one. The vampire life sure as hell isn't as glamorous as everyone claims it to be. Seriously, just ask Alina Falkov. One day, she will be a full-fledged attorney, but for now, she is stuck working her fangs off at a thankless job as she attends Othercross University's esteemed law school. Of course, she might not have the job for long if she can't be on time, but when a lonely vampire catches the scent of her beloved, her one true soulmate throughout existence, in the hallways of the courthouse, no one can blame her for tracking him down. Now, if only he wasn't the defendant. And by all accounts, guilty. Or is he? Moving right along onto my thoughts, Alina and Luca are beloveds who find each other in an otherworldly courthouse, with Luca on trial for a crime he claims he didn't commit, and Alina turns out to be his lawyer. Now, with the vampire beloved bond snapping into place, all they want to do is ravage each other, but with Luca in chains, they can't really do that unless they call for a recess, which tests the three judges' patience. All that said, I would have probably liked to see more smut and less magical politics, but this novel was still in the realm between a decent read and a good read. Not my favorite of vampire fiction novels, but still entertaining despite needing a list of all the characters mentioned, because there are, I feel, almost too many of them. Like, there's Alina and Luca, their friends, the three judges, and then the criminal who really did the evil deed, and then there's like a werewolf who's hooking up with Alina's friend, and I just needed a spreadsheet of characters' names and everything else. The lack of smut was less than entertaining, merely mentioning Alina pinned to the wall by Luca not wanting her clothes to be ripped off, then Alina accidentally winding up flashing one of the security guards, not realizing that she was still without her top on, after the bloodlust of just having mated with Luca. More kinky details, please. I would like to read more about vampire lovemaking. I would seriously love that. And if you know a book that is basically all vampire smut and very little vampire politics, then guide me to those novels right now, because I will read just about anything smutty at this point. I think I've returned to the not-so-popular phase when it comes to reading books. I mean, I'm a reader who devours anything that isn't a math textbook, but I don't normally read mainstream novels. I mean, I didn't read the Twilight Saga when it was popular. I didn't read the Hunger Games when it was popular. But with the Gone series near unheard of in my circle of friends, I drank up the thrills of those books like drunk girls take shots. I'm not even kidding. I devoured that series and I loved every moment of it. And then when it started to gain popularity, I was like, wait a minute, hold up, I read something that's popular. And so I was like, wait a minute. No, it was actually really good that I read that series, but it was still not as popular as, say, the Twilight Saga or the Hunger Games, but I still really enjoyed it. All throughout my life, I have basically gone in and out of this weird phase where I refuse to read any popular books. So if everyone reads the Fearless Trilogy by Francine Pascal, I will not read it. But if nobody reads You and Me at the End of the World by Brianna Bourne, I will read that. I have no idea why it's usually been that way, but that's just me. So if you talk about the Hunger Games, I'm like, oh yeah, I read that a little bit. but I really didn't always pay attention to all the details. Yet when I read The Wild by Owen Laukkanen, I'm like, okay, every single detail I must mention. I don't know if that makes total sense, but I would like to know eventually if I'm not the only one who does that. Moving on to what I primarily read, which is indie romance novels. They are not mainstream, but so deserve to be. Besides, if I read the books before they get popular, I will have the book reviews up before anyone else, so it's low-key thrilling to me. And with all that said, I think that vampire fiction is extremely popular, so I'm actually losing interest in vampire romances all over again. And my love for vampire fiction novels does fluctuate, so I think I will love it again, but simply not right now. If you are into vampire romance novels or are just supporting indie romance authors in general, then I would recommend you read this novel because it is good in its own ways, although, again, I would have enjoyed a lot more smut. I hope you enjoy this book more than I do because all books deserve love, and I just found this book semi-boring, so if you enjoy this book or this whole series, I'm happy for you, and if you're with me on this one, that's fine too. Everyone has their taste in literature, and vampire love stories just aren't my thing right now. As far as my final notes go, my rating for this book was 2 out of 5 stars. Did I enjoy this novel enough to recommend it to my friends? Maybe, but it's pretty low on my list of book recommendations, and I apologize to Celia, Kyle, and Marina Maddix for that. But I'd probably recommend this novel to my paranormal loving friends who think vampires are smoking hot. Will I reread this book? Maybe if I decided to read the whole series in full, but I am honestly not sure if I will at this point or ever. That's just me confessing here. And is this book a favorite of mine? No, because I wanted more kinky smut and less magical politics and law talk. I want smut. Give me everything you have. I want something like 50 Shades, but darker and much better written. So anything you have for me, I will read and take into consideration when planning future book reviews on dark romance genres. Anyway, with all that in mind, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button to show some support. Subscribe to my booktube channel to get more videos like this. Turn on that notification button to be notified when I upload brand new videos every single Sunday. Keep on reading. Subscribe to my second channel, Erin Rogoff Official, where I keep movie and TV show reviews and art vlogs. So once you subscribe to that channel, come back here, comment below what is your favorite vampire romance novel of all time, and I will see you guys next Sunday.